Hi, I'm Linda Nelson from Ancient Earth Pigments. Thank you for joining us today. Today I'm going to show you how to make watercolor paints from dry pigments. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on making these color pans. This is the set that I made up of the typical watercolors that I like to use in the field. Also, these are similar to the oil colors that I like to use. Hey there, I just wanted to show you some of the exciting things that are coming in. We are bringing in brand new brushes, and right now these are the ones we're field testing. We've got red sable, we've got a synthetic and squirrel blend, which are wonderful. We have another squirrel blend, another synthetic we're looking at, and this is a sheep hair Japanese watercolor brush. Holds a lot of water. It's lovely for big, wide washes. We're bringing in new colors, and we're very excited to be introducing light turquoise, de Medici red, Côte d'Azur, Kowloon white we've had, and then this is one of our favorites, ultramarine. Later on, I'm going to do a demo of mixing up some ultramarine watercolor paint. But I do want you to take a look at Kowloon white. This originally came from China, and this was the clay that was used in porcelain. So it lends a beautiful, beautiful translucency to your whites. So if you want a very delicate floral, or even used in portraiture, this I could see would be lovely in many applications. I'd like to introduce some of the items that we have, some of the products we have at Ancient Earth Pigments. These are two of my favorites for working in the field. This is the color wheel that helps you find the exact complement or analogous color that you need, or the underpainting color. It helps you fine-tune your color mixing. These are the value glasses, which are invaluable for seeing values out there so you can distinguish them when in your painting to make a stronger painting. I have to say thank you to Eric Rhodes for developing these because they are a treat. In the field, I like to use a watercolor palette, and we have filled up pans for use out in our coastal environment here in Santa Barbara. And there's also a smaller kit if in case you wanted yet a pocket-sized palette box. A few other tools that we have. This is a small crystal Italian muller for grinding down pigments that are a little bit too granular. This is the medium size, which I think would be great for people doing larger volumes of paint or oil paint, because you need to be able to disperse the pigments into the oil, whichever oil you're going to use. Another tool we have for mixing, besides the mullers, I have a favorite palette knife, which is not too sharp, not too long, but very flexible, so it can help really mix in the pigments to the binders. Speaking of binders, I'm going to show you how to make gum arabic. Gum arabic is essential for watercolorists, gouache, people who are doing gouache, and also people doing egg tempera. Gum arabic helps bind the paint to the surface. You don't need a lot of this with egg tempera, but a little bit does not hurt at all. So I'm going to get started here with the tools, and I'll be back in a moment. This is a ratio. We're going to put 5 teaspoons of gum arabic, and I'm making a big batch for you so you can see. 5 teaspoons gum arabic, to 10 teaspoons of hot water. You don't need to bring it up to a boil. The water should be at about 140 degrees. So what I like to do to just make things easy is I put my 10 teaspoons of water in a Pyrex or heat-proof measuring cup. Perfect. and this is at 140 degrees. I put it through the microwave because it does not need to get to boiling. That's just to get it hot enough so that the gum arabic dissolves neatly. When it cools a little bit, I could put a dab of honey. Honey is antimicrobial and will help keep things from growing in it, things like mold. Or I could put a drop of clove if I wished. That is also antimicrobial. One question that people have is, what happens if it doesn't dissolve completely? That can happen for many reasons. You can strain it if you want, or you can take a spoon and mash down those little bits. But it's not going to hurt your painting. If it's a little lumpy, it's just not so much fun to work with. So you do not have to worry about it being completely lump-free. A lot of this will dissolve or be absorbed by tomorrow. To go ahead and demo mixing watercolor paint from ultramarine blue. As always, when I'm using a dry pigment like this, I put on PPE. I always wear a mask because I don't want to inhale those particulates. So I'm going to put about 3 half spoonfuls . There we go. And we always cap our jars so we won't spill. Okay, now I'm putting in about 6 drops of water. And we go at this pretty slowly because we want to gradually mix in the liquids, and about half again as much of gum arabic. And maybe half again as much of the glycerin. The glycerin is going to help keep the paint a little bit more soft so that when I put it into a pan it doesn't get crumbly and hard. Here I'm mixing the liquids outward into the dry pigment, very much the way you would be mixing pasta, for instance. So that's gotten to medium, 3, 4, 5, 6, roughly. There's the gum arabic to help bind it to the paper or the parchment that I might be painting on my surface. A couple drops of glycerin. And every pigment is slightly different. Some will take a little bit more work to disperse them into the liquid, but I think this is very good. I think this is a great texture here. And you'll see me tapping. I want to get all the air bubbles out. And there we have it. Pan of ultramarine paint. Show you that we're going to be doing ultramarine ash. This is actually made from lapis lazuli. So if you see this in the sunlight, you'll see little sparkles from the actual stone. It's a beautiful muted color, and I think this is going to be great in my historical palette set. The other historical color I'm going to do for you today is smalt. This is known from the Egyptian times, the times of the dynasties and the pharaohs, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful color, but it is made from ground glass. So I'm going to wear a mask when I'm doing this color for you.